The only podcast coming through your beat stereo. It's Cherie's World, so let's go around like a merry-go. Plug your phone in, make sure it got a full battery. Download it Wednesday, listen to it Saturday. She cover all topics, whatever you after. She got ball players, authors, doctors, actors, rappers, singers, entrepreneurs, divas, leaders. Androids or Apple, turn up your speakers. Trying to shoot my shot like the vaccine. Whether it's Cherie or Maxine, whether the podcast or acting, she that queen. PYT, you know what that mean. Saw you on TV and touch the screen. Touch on you, I plead Lucy's got a crush on you. It'll mean the world to get a blush from you. Teaspoon to me, leave you sleep like Robitussin do.
What's up, y'all? This is Dawn Robinson, and you're watching Cherie's World podcast.
Amazing. Dawn, what you don't know, and I'm just going to come on out, I'm a fangirl, and I've had a crush on you since I was a very young little girl.
My gosh. Wow. Thank you so much. That's very special. I appreciate it. That means a lot.
Absolutely. You were my Beyonce.
Wow. Got it. Thank you. Yeah. Wow.
Thank you.
Saying a lot.
Yes, in a time when I was, looking at beautiful women on TV, it was like you were in this group full of glamorous, beautiful ladies, but I was like, that's who I want to be. Something about Dawn. When I grow up,
wow,
you ooze sex.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Hopefully without trying too hard, you want it to be natural. You don't want to try to be sexy. You either got it or you don't. So thank you. I appreciate that. Big time.
You absolutely got it. And you've always, to me, have come off just completely confident and gorgeous. I grew up in a time in the 80s and 90s when women were like this big. And I wasn't. I had these boobs and I didn't know what to do with them. I was trying to hide them. And I had a little waist. I never had a booty. But you had that hourglass shape, which made me feel confident to go ahead and, not hide what I got going on so much anymore.
Exactly. Wow. Well, when I first started, so sorry, Courtney, just to be a little bit graphic, I was a B cup when I started with EnVogue. Very, 32 or 34B. I am now a triple D. And they are natural and they keep growing. So I was small back then. Whatever, Courtney.
That's a good thing.
It's hard. No, it's not a good thing because you can't exercise. You can't dance. You can't, it's cumbersome and they're heavy. So it's heavy on my neck. I mean, all of that. It's a problem. It doesn't seem like it for a guy. So I know what you're saying. But so I was a lot smaller then, but I was never, I kind of just had this natural confidence about myself. I don't know where I got it from because when I look back at my videos and live performances, even on the MTV Awards or the VH1 Awards or the Soul Awards, Soul Train Awards, I became a person that I didn't know that I was. In other words, I wasn't confident in my natural self. I wasn't confident outright. But when I hit the stage, it's like lights on, camera, action for me. So thank you, Cherie. I'm glad that you saw something that I wasn't even aware of. I see it now as I look at myself, but it wasn't something I was conscious of. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, thank you.
I'm right behind you. I got a double D now.
Oh my God, I'm triple.
When I was young though, I had these things that came out of nowhere and it meant so much to me. I don't think.
Wow. Wow. Man, thank you. You never know. You have no idea how the world is looking at you. You may feel a certain thing in your body and your mind about yourself, but you don't know how people feel about you until now. I'm hearing people express themselves because of social media. They're talking to me directly. And I feel that. So thank you very much, Cherie.
Thank you. I got a chance to almost meet you once, but I was so shy. I couldn't say anything. Adele and Ed Hunter's wedding. I was one of the maid of honors. And you walked by and I just about died.
Whose wedding is that? Whose wedding?
Ed Hunter. I think he used to be one of your security guards.
Oh, yes, exactly. He was a friend of my ex-husband, actually.
Oh, okay.
Or actually, this was probably my boyfriend, Chris. I think that's how I met Ed and his wife. Yes. Oh, my God. You were there.
I was one of the maid of honors, and you walked by, and I just about died because I wanted to just spill my guts, but I was like, I'm not going to do that to her right now.
Oh, I wish you would have said hello. I mean, because your face looks familiar anyway. Aren't you an actress? You did some acting. Yes, okay. So, yeah, I mean, thank you. So you have a successful career already. I just wish we would have said hello because you probably could have hung out, you know, and you never know.
I was too giddy. I could have never done it. Let's go back to when you first started. How old were you when EnVogue got started?
I was 21 years old when EnVogue got started for the audition. I was 21 years old, young and not knowing who I am. You think you know everything when you're in your 20s, but I really did not. None of us did. Cindy, Maxine, Terry. Cindy and Maxine are still 4 years older than me and Terry. Terry is 2 years older than me. So let's see. I was 21. Terry was 22 or 23. And then Cindy and Maxine were 28 or 27, something in there. So we were all in our 20s, innocent, not knowing anything about the business that we were getting into, you know. And they saw us coming a mile away because they knew our personalities were not going to be the ones to say very much. We were docile and quiet, very happy to just be there and excited about everything that was happening. Rightfully so. I mean, this was, you know, our dream come true.
Right. And they loved that, I'm sure.
Absolutely, they did. They saw us coming, like I said. And it's sad because, you know, you have a way for everybody. Well, I don't want to jump ahead, but you have a way for everyone to, on top of our success, to be financially successful and make sure that everyone involved, including the artists, including us, make sure that we also get paid and get the lion's share of the money, or at least a share of the money. And we won't.
Uh-oh. See, I don't know this part of the story, but I have a feeling
really
I know where it's going.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was bad. I mean, you're talking about one of the most iconic groups. We were the first girl group in the 90s, and every era has their own girl group. Or girl groups. The 60s, of course, we know, you know, the Shangri-Las, the Supremes, Martha and the Vandellas. Who else? The Ronettes. You know what I mean? I want to say, the Shangri-Las did My Boyfriend's Back. The Crystals. I mean, they had all these girl groups that era. And then the 70s had Patti LaBelle. They had the Pointer Sisters, Sister Sledge.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. All these girl groups. Exactly. The Emotions.
Yes.
So every era has its girl groups. And we were, in the 80s kind of missed R&B. Yeah. There weren't too many R&B groups in the 80s, but it was the Cover Girls with Sweet Sensation. There was Expose. Like, they had amazing songs. And then in the 90s, it was us. We were the first ones to hit. In 1990, we came out with Hold On.
Yes.
And you would think because of our huge success and because we were a huge name that the people around us would make sure that we were taken care of.
Yes.
Just like we were making sure that they were financially taken care of. But they did not. And that is what I didn't see it at first. And if I did see it, I kind of ignored it because I was the only one to kind of think, okay, they're making a lot of money because of us. And whoa, they're making money too because of us. And we're not paid yet. But okay, we're on the road and we're doing our thing and we're traveling the world. And we're excited, and we're on the MC Hammer tour, and the world is knowing, like, literally who Cindy, Terry, Maxine, and Dawn are. I'm not going to complain. I don't want to be the first one to complain. And then after a while, it was like, okay, now we're on our third album, which was Runaway Love.
Yes.
The money's still not there, but I know that we're in the millions now. We've sold on the first album 5 to 8 million. Second album, we started with this under the same terms as the first album. Where's the money? You know, yeah, we recorded Funky Divas under the same terms as Born to Sing.
Wow, that's
not cool.
Not right. No.
Yeah, not at all.
In the acting world, every season, and I would say like an album is probably a season, there's a renegotiating period.
You're supposed to, Cherie.
And a large...
well, but in our case, it started out bad because it wasn't bad that Terry and our producer were dating, but that was one of the biggest reasons that we didn't renegotiate, because we didn't have Terry with us, because she was dating our producer. She didn't agree with what we wanted to do. Otherwise, she didn't want against. She felt like she didn't agree with what we wanted to do. It's always hard when you are in love with someone and you try to do business outside of that. Yeah, you can't see straight. You can't understand that, okay, what I have to do with you outside of our relationship, I have to do business. I have to separate that. Ooh, that's a hard thing to do when you're in love. You really have to be a woman about it, or a man, and you have to say, you know, because he did. As a man, he was renegotiating. He was taking care of himself and his business partner, his producer. So our two producers were Denzel Foster, Thomas McElroy. And Foster and McElroy took care of what they had to when it came to themselves.
Men do.
They renegotiated. I'm sorry?
I'm sorry. I just said men usually do.
Yes, they can put aside that emotional, they can balance it out. This is business. This is my relationship. This has nothing to do with this. And they can do that very well. And Terry did not. So when it came to, by the time we got to Funky Divas, I was like, you guys, there's something wrong with this picture. We have sold millions of records, millions of albums, especially after that album. That was like, oof. When I left in 97, we had sold 28 million records, but we only made 2 pennies per record, 2 cents per girl. So 2 cents for Terry, 2 cents for Maxine, 2 cents for Cindy, 2 cents for me per record. That's what I'm saying. Terry didn't put her differences aside when it came to business. She was still so caught up emotionally with this man. It's like, okay, Terry, I know you love him. I get that, or whatever, even if it's not love. Whatever she was feeling had nothing to do with the business side with us. So the record company knew that we were free and clear. The 4 of us were free and clear from our production company, our production deal with Denny and Tommy. And that was, so Too Tough Enough Productions was our production company. That was Denny and Tommy, Denzel Foster, Thomas McElroy. Through them, we had a deal with Atlantic Records, but they were the go-between. So if you have EnVogue, you've got Denny and Tommy, Too Tough Enough Productions in the middle, and then you got Atlantic Records. They were the middleman. So we didn't have a direct relationship to the record company. We only had these guys in the middle. Terry, because she was dating one of them, would not put her differences aside and say, you know what? I got to take care of business with my girls. So let's see. How did that go? So Foster McElroy, Thomas McElroy had a sister. Still has. I'm sure she's still alive. I haven't seen her in years. But Toni Granberry was the one who signed us to our production deal with them. She's the one who orchestrated all the paperwork, made sure that we were signed to them, and that we were beholden to them as a production company.
Right.
When they fired Toni, or she quit, but somehow we were free and clear from our production deal with them. When we found out we had another, so when we first started, we had an attorney. This is our second attorney. So we got rid of the first attorney, we had a second attorney, Stephen Barnes. And Stephen was a whip. When I tell you, he was incredibly intelligent when it came to the music business, and he was trying to tell us, you guys are free and clear from your production company, a production deal with Denny and Tommy. We were like, are you sure? He said, you are. Toni Granberry is no longer there. She was either fired or she quit. You guys are free and clear. This is your time to go directly to the label, to Atlantic Records, or just leave Atlantic and Too Tough Enough Productions altogether. And you guys are free and clear. And we were like, oh my God. When we found that out, I guess Terry went back and told her boyfriend / producer, Too Tough Enough Productions, that we were now free and clear. So they all of a sudden find this paperwork out of nowhere. Oh my God. We have to, they forged the signature of Toni Granberry, saying that we were now, yes, you guys are locked into this deal with us. And we were like, wait a minute. So when we looked at the signatures, we were like, okay. Our attorney was like, no, you guys, this looks like it's forged. It looks like it's forged. You're going to have to get a, what do you call it? a handwriting analysis to come in and look at how the T's and the I's and all of that in Tony Granberry's name is signed. When she first signed us in 1989, this signature in 1997 is totally different, or 96, 95 is totally different than, and they were like, wow, you guys forged the signature. So we had a handwriting analysis come in. He said, oh yeah, this is totally different signature. This has nothing to do with the signature that you guys first had when you signed in 89. Exactly. So he was like, you guys are free and clear. And when the record company found that out, and Denny and Tommy found that out, they were like, oh my God. So instead of us saying, you guys, Cindy, Terry, Maxine, and Dawn, we are free. Let's go. Let's leave. Let's find another way. We can still work with Denny and Tommy. They can still produce songs on our record, but we are free and clear from them. Let's just go.
Now
Absolutely.
EnVogue become its own production company and have distribution through Atlantic the way we always have.
That would have been so, you just said exactly. We didn't know quite how to articulate it, but just what you said right now, Cherie, is very smart. We could have either done that or find out our options. What can we do right now in the interim? What is it? What's possible for us? Like you said, and I said to the girls a long time, this is probably 92, let's start our own production company. And Cindy said, that's too much work. I'm like, okay, let's start our own girl group. Like, let's do something like that. She's like, that's too much work. Okay, too much work. I don't understand what you mean by that, but we have to figure out how to not just be artists.
It's $300 in legal fees.
Exactly.
And it's coming up with some money to be able to pay your producers. And at that time, you guys were like this. So producers probably worked with you for back-end money.
Exactly, for free. Just to be a part of the project. Excuse me.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I wish I would introduce myself.
I'm going to take this off.
That's okay. I'd have been like, hey, let me run EnVogue LLC.
That would be great.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cherie's World. I am totally excited about our guest today. It is his fault, single-handedly, the reason why I've ever even dated a rapper. I am Cherie Johnson, and that is Courtney Blackman. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got Mr. Stevie D from the Force MDs in the house.
What's up? What's up? All the tender love you're giving to me.
Classic.
A little bit.
Classic.
This is one of the joints. What's up? What up, everybody? How you doing? How you doing?
Awesome. Amazing. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
I have had a crush on you my whole life.
Really?
Absolutely. Mr. Staten Island himself.
Hey, you grow up in people see you when you out there doing your thing. I guess people, I can't even answer that.
Yes, your journey has been amazing. And I don't feel like we need to go all the way back from the beginning because everybody knows.
Right.
One of my biggest questions is now, like anybody who incorporates rap and singing in their music got it from you.
Yeah. We definitely we're definitely one of the blueprints of that whole sound right there, the R&B hip hop.
You gave Ja Rule his own career.
Hey, what about Drake? Drake done really ran off with it. He made all the money off it.
Absolutely. Speaking of Drake, like who is your favorites of today?
Of today's rappers?
Yeah.
Drake is definitely one of my favorites. No matter what other people may say about him, he makes great records, man, like very easy listening records. And I think he just really he got a good ear. Whoever produces a lot of his stuff that Drake has to accept. And when Drake accepts it, he puts the magic touch to it because he really got a good ear of music because everything he touches just turns to gold, everything he touches. And he got a laid back voice and he got good lyrics, so I definitely give my props to Drake and all the rappers that's out, like the up-to-date rappers right now. Drake is definitely one of my favorites.
My daughter would agree. That's for sure. While we're talking about rappers up to date and people doing songs, Tender Love has been covered by so many different artists.
Yeah, it's so crazy because, can I give you a story on that? Is it okay?
Yeah.
Well, making Tender Love, right? We were supposed to be in the movie Crush Groove. Everybody knows the hip hop legendary movie.
That was going to be my first question.
Yeah, yeah. This breaks it down right here. They at first chose us to be in the movie on the part New Edition, like the New Edition part.
Yeah.
But at the last minute, they decided to go with New Edition because New Edition was like the Jackson 5, it was like the bigger group. Everybody knew their names. We was just that other group that was out there, but New Edition was like the big dogs at the time. But we was on tour with them. We did 3 tours with them, so we was very close. But business is business, and we understood it. So we was like, oh man, we was ready to get busy in that movie. We was in another movie called Rapid. We'll talk about that later. But so New Edition ended up getting in the movie, and they asked us, yo, would you mind at least doing a soundtrack for the movie, one of the soundtracks of the movie? Now, this is what a lot of people don't know. Tender Love, the song Tender Love was supposed to go to New Edition first, but they had contractual disagreement. They couldn't do the song. And then Terry Lewis and Jimmy Jam gave us the song to do. And New Edition ended up being in Crush Groove, and we ended up singing Tender Love. It took us 2 hours and a half maybe in the studio to do that.
That's what I heard. I heard it was like...
It took us, it was real fast. We did it real fast. And Jam and Lewis told us before it came out, this is going to be a big hit. And we was like, okay, man, if y'all say so, you know, this is, yeah, people got to remember that Tender Love came before What Have You Done for Lately, Janet, all the New Edition stuff. Tender Love was the first crossover record that Terry Lewis and Jimmy Jam ever made. They produced SOS Band and all those bands before us, but Tender Love was their first crossover hit that went top 10 pop and R&B. And my uncle in the group was like, hey man, this song need drums, man. You sure, man, it needs drums? And he was like, no, it's just good with the piano, man. My uncle kept going back and forth with him. Jesse, one of the guys, I'm telling you, man, it better have drums. And then he says, I guarantee you it's going to be a hit without the drums. Next thing you know, they was right. And it hit, and it hit big. We didn't think it was going to hit that big, but damn, it was like, damn, what have we done here? You know, and like you say, I still get people to come to me and ask me for child support checks. You owe me child support, man. For making that song, man. We get that all the time.
It's so funny that you bring that up because that's actually, I'm a little bit younger. That's actually the first time I heard Tender Love was watching Crush Groove. And I didn't see Crush Groove in the movie theater. I actually saw it like my aunt had it on tape. So we used to watch it like every weekend, and it was such classic. And that was like, the scene when they played Tender Love is when Run was smashing us.
No, that's Blair Underwood, actually. Blair Underwood smashed Sheila E.
Okay, so he was playing Russell.
Right, Russell.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. It was so classic, man. And like now I'm actually trying to teach, not me trying to teach, have my daughter actually learn how to play that because it's so.
Yes, that's a great piano song to learn. A lot of people, I get so many videos of people playing Tender Love. It's like a good like chord type of song for people that learn how to play the piano. It's like it got that like a music box, like that little thing that sticks in your ear, a little sound that sticks in your ear. That's why it's so catchy. And people don't realize sometimes the simplest songs can be the biggest songs. Mm-hmm. You don't gotta go crazy, just simple stuff can blow up just as much as stuff that people go extra on. So we just did it, and then as long as you got that feel in your heart, they feel what you're saying. That does it, and that's pretty much happened to us. We're in the studio and just felt the lyrics and just did it, and boom. And I just want to thank Jamie Lewis.
How old were you when that came out?
I was at least 43, maybe 44. I'm joking with you now.
Younger than that.
Like what?
I knew I like old men, but good Lord, like.
Nah, I was like 20.
Oh,
20
okay.
years old.
Well, so did you, I guess at that point, definitely understood exactly what you were singing?
Yeah. My brother, rest in peace, my brother TC. He was the lead of that song, and TC he's a natural. He got that soulful, natural stuff like Sam Cooke. He got that type of voice. And anything he sings, he just had it, and it was just, we couldn't believe, like, we finished that fast, and then it blew up that fast. Like, wow, that was quick. That's, but it was good. It was good. I'm just happy to this day. Like you said earlier, to this day, it's a lot of people doing remakes, people singing in their concerts, even New Edition sung it in their concert. So,
And I gotta ask, okay, you're 20 years old. You're out on tour with New Edition. I happen to know those guys. I call them my uncles.
Yes.
What was it like to be 20 years old and the world is in your hands, traveling from state to state? How many kids you got?
Ooh. Oh, let me go. 5, 6, and 5, 4. No. I got 7 kids. A lot of them older though. A lot of 35, 30s, and I got some younger ones, 16. 17, 20. Okay, just a lot of kids, but at those times, when I say New Edition was like Jackson 5, that's really true. We was a group that we was from New York and they's from Boston, and we both just like the same little energetic style on stage and everything. So people really liked the combination of us two together. That's why we did 3 tours with them. That we had a great combination, because we used to do all our stuff flipping, and they used to do their stuff, and they looked at us like big brothers, because we was like maybe 3-4 years older than them, but they're good to this day. When we see each other, man, all we do is reminisce and laugh how they had girls camped out in hotels, in the lobby. It was just so much. They had girls come to us as, I'll give you some if you show me where Ralph room is. No, you're too young. Get away from me.
Damn.
I mean, all types of stuff. That's how they had these people crazed. I'm like, wow. So, that's the power of marketing and promotion.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Did you guys open up for them?
Yeah.
So did they ever say, hey, whatever you do not perform Tender Love last, because we got to follow that. We don't want to follow that. Did they ever say that?
I'm being real, man. And when you see New Edition, they my boys. I keep it 100. At a time, their management told us kind of like tone our showdowns. We're both very energetic groups, and we was like, we was a group like, yo, these dudes they good too. Like, their people was like, yo, some people say, yo, y'all kind of outshine. This was the younger New Edition, not the now New Edition. Right. We was all younger back then. Some people said we outshined them on shows and stuff. It was really crazy, really competitive, but friendly competitive, because we just wanted to give the fans a good show. And you're right on one thing, man. When Tender Love dropped, I mean, it was over. All the lights, it was over after we did that. It was like, that's how big that song was. But Ralph always said, man, I wish we would have did that joint, man. I wish we would have did that joint. I said, yo, man. Hey, man, you had Can You Stand the Rain and Helplessly in Love. That was close,
Right.
But we joke about it. We was definitely great stage chemistry with us two together, man. And big shout out to Cherie. She's on a tour with us too. And they had UTFO. They was on tour with us, but we was definitely like the Four Tops and the Temptations. But it was 5 of us in each group. But we was that type of thing, like that at that young age, So it was really good, man. And we thanked them. We always want to thank them for inviting us on a tour with them. And really, they got us a lot of exposure, man. Just by us doing all those dates, they got us a lot of exposure. We made a couple of top 10 hits. Tender Love was just
just one.
Yeah. We made a couple of joints.
Love is in the house.
Yeah. Love is the house. Yeah, we made Tears. Here I Go Again. From Scratch. We made a lot of joints.
That's the one I like. Yeah.
I have three of my favorite ladies in the house. Courtney is going to have to sit through a lot of girl chatter, but I know that you guys will be excited too. We've got MCJB in the house along with Baby D and Sassy C. Do you know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about the ladies from JJ Fad.
Woo woo! Yeah. Raise the roof. Raise the J's.
Baby bud, you over there.
You know it.
Courtney and I definitely appreciate you being in the house with us tonight.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate you guys.
Are you kidding? You have been a part of my world for as long as I've been able to turn the radio station to what I want to listen to instead of what my mama and them wanted to listen to.
Girl, you know you was listening to K-Day. Stop playing.
I was trying to, but I lived in Woodland Hills. So we only heard K-Day when we got closer to the 405.
So you was on power?
With no BET or nothing. Now, you know, y'all clowning me and everything, but.
No, that ain't clowning, girl. That's keeping it 100.
I was going to say, I might have been in Ventura County, but y'all was in Rialto.
Thank you for it.
Yes. San Bernardino. What you talking about? San Bernardino County.
Girl, you was in Rialto Hush.
I said San Bernardino County.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, that was it.
My mama used to tell me she was going to kick my ass to Rancho Cucamonga. I didn't even know that was really a place until I was like 19 years old.
That's people did say that though.
Yeah, right.
Because at that time it was considered a long way off. It was far.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even no Rancho. It was just Cucamonga. Oh,
see?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hold on. That, I'm from Chicago, so that's real. I remember it was a TV show called Cucamonga.
Yes, that's a city. Really real.
Exactly. It's that far away, Courtney.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't even know black folks lived out there, but the IE is full of black people. We just didn't know.
Well, now, it wasn't when we was growing up.
It wasn't.
Well, they are.
They there now.
Yep.
I'm just clowning, ladies. I wanna bust into it with some questions that I know ain't nobody asked y'all.
All right.
You were young, right? Baby D, you were 15 when you
Yes.
were going on tour with NWA and stuff. Now, I grew up with some of them boys, and I love me some Eazy-E, but my mama couldn't stand him. How did your parents feel about you going on tour with NWA, Kwame? Like, you was with a bunch of grown-ass men.
Grown ass men. Yes, you're absolutely right. But they treated me like little sister. They treated us like little sisters. Like, you know, you got that big brother, like, oh, don't look at my sister. You know what I'm saying? So it was just more of that. They were real protective of us, you know, so it wasn't like, you know, you are with these men and thinking about, you know, you think of grown men and pedophiles and all that. It just wasn't that common then. You know what I mean? It was there, but it wasn't out there like that. So we didn't have that problem. You know, she did have to, like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna give you my blessing. You're gonna go. You got these two big sisters that's gonna watch over you, and if something happened, you know I'm coming for them. So they kept me protected as well. So she didn't have a problem with it at all.
Wow. What about you, MCJB? How old were you when you guys were on tour?
Early 20s, like 22. I want to say in the 20s, but we were young too, and they were older than us. So it's the same thing. They just treated us like little sisters, clowned with us. We played tag all backstage and just had a blast. So even though we were young, they were young spirited. So we had so much fun with them, just like our brothers.
They were kids. And what about you, Sassy C?
What? No. It was fun. You would be surprised at stuff that we used to do. It wasn't like, you know, trying to be with us or anything like that. And if guys tried to talk, you could forget it. You know,
shut it down.
I
know. I'm still going through it. I'm grown, and I have to tell them now. I'm allowed to be with a dude. It's okay. So I love kids. I love it. Right. What a baby. I love hearing that part of your guys' story. It's so, I think, important. And go ahead, Courtney. I'm gonna shut up. I see him going like this.
No, I was going to ask basically the same thing. What was it like hearing NWA's music though? Like as ladies, like when you heard, you know, when you heard some of the lyrics and everything, like what did y'all think?
Well, I didn't take offense because it was real. You know, they was just keeping it real. I mean, if you thought he was talking to you as being a bitch, hoe, slut, whatever, then that was you, because you felt some type of way. You know, if that's what it is what it is. But if you wasn't that type of woman, you wasn't that type of woman, so it didn't offend you. Well, it didn't offend me.
Yeah,
Right.
I remember they always used to tell us, like, are you a bitch? No. Are you a hoe? No. Then we're not talking about you.
Yeah.
So they always kept it in perspective. Like, we're not talking about every single female. We're talking about some of the ones that we've come across. And if that's not you, then you don't have nothing to worry about. So we never took offense to it. We thought it was kind of funny, actually, when we were younger, because we didn't hear all that cussing, like not in that sense. We heard some, but not like that. So, I mean, sometimes I would just start laughing because I thought it was hilarious.
So what do you say to like the women of today that like get real sensitive over lyrics like that now?
Same thing. If that's not you, then you shouldn't take offense to it. They're not talking about you. You have to have enough self-esteem and feel good about yourself to know I'm not a bitch. I'm not a hoe. I'm not a slut. So they must be talking about somebody else.
Because guess what? It is somebody else is out there like that. And they just telling you, I mean, you know, these women, these young women call themselves baiting in a man, and then they'll get their boyfriend to come, you know, rob them or whatever. You know, y'all know the game. Don't be acting crazy. Y'all know what's cracking. But if it ain't you, it's not you. Don't even, you know, brush that stuff off, you know.
Plus, they got to go on tour with them, Courtney. Do you know what tour with them? And they was with Too Short, too, who I absolutely positively love. Or, yes. So they got to see the girls that they were talking about.
Mm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, trust me, some of them bitches was like, bitch, yeah, you know, and that was them. They didn't care shit. So, you know, some of the people don't care, you know. Some people got that. That's me, and that's what? What's the problem? Yep, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do me, you do you, you know. But if it's not you and you don't like that type of music, then step off, you know.
As we're talking about groupies and the hoes, we always hear the men's side.
Love her, right? Love her.
No. But we always hear the men's side. And I know that you guys had groupies.
Did they let y'all have groupies?
No.
When we was in the Bahamas, we had to get far from them to get groupies.
Yes.
Jermaine.
But you know what? The funny thing is female groupies and guy groupies are totally different. So, like, if a guy wanted to be a groupie, like, he wouldn't, like, try to be all over you at the venue. They'll try to find out what hotel you're going to go to, and they'll be in the lobby when you get in there after your bus come, and
That's
they'll
what
be like,
Cherie told me.
try to slide in at the hotel, but they don't try to make it all obvious like women do.
I told you, Courtney, I said that male groupies are scarier than women groupies.
Oh, remember that one state we were in, and those guys found out what we were at, and they were banging on the door. We know you in there. Oh my God. Adrian.
I told Courtney, I got to my hotel room one night and I opened up the door. Thank God security was with me, but they was only with me because they was about to go to their room. But I told them to come on because we all had food, right? And I was like, come eat and then you guys could go. I put my key in the door and opened up the door and it was a naked dude in my room. Oh, I thought that I opened up the wrong hotel room. So I went running out. Security blew past me and you know how that went. But I was telling Courtney, it's cute when like Dre got 120 pound, 5'5" groupie.
Right.
We get 6'3", 250 pound men.
Yeah.
They
come.
It's crazy.
That
is
You're
crazy.
right. You're right about that.
And what about the fact you guys were also on tour with a lot of other women groups, right? So did you guys ever compare notes from when you went from city to city? No. I see Sassy giggling.
When we were out initially, we didn't really tour with women. because we did, but you know, on
We did
our
spot dates.
career, huh?
We did spot dates, you know?
Right. That sometimes women on, and it just depends on what spot we were in the show, or they were in the show. We may not have even seen them, even if they were on the same show as us. But now, you know, we have better relationships or talk to, you know, other female rappers. But back then, I don't really remember that many. Do you guys?
No, we were usually always the only girls, and we liked it that way. We loved it that way. So we have very many females back in the 80s during that time. Now we do, and now we get to tour with Salt and Pepper. We get to tour with Lisa, and which we love. So I think it's different now than it was then.
Right. But wait a minute, Cherie, you was getting at something. What was your question to that? Because I think I missed something. What was the question? Because I heard something, but I don't think they heard it. But what was it?
I was just asking, do you guys ever compare notes? Because I know like there's some actresses who are my age and we all kind of grew up together where we'll sit down and have lunch, or we'll be like at a place and we start comparing notes. So I'm like, you too? Oh, girl, yeah.
Okay. I got you. Yeah, girl. I thought it was something else up in there.
What did you think? What you thought was better than what I had?
Oh, no, yeah, it was a little juicy. I thought he was comparing those, like, you know, who's, like, men was yelling more, or what cities had the hottest men, that type of thing.
Well, let's go there. What cities do you think? Because
I got the
it didn't happen.
Look, it didn't happen, so it's all gravy, baby, you know.
I don't know. I had a lot of fun in Texas, and why?
Man, it's been a lot of fun everywhere, actually. I don't think we went anywhere Boston, I think, right? You guys? Yeah. Boston probably was the only place that didn't really accept us at all. Like, it was just absolutely flop. Like, but everywhere else, really, and you got to think we got 30 plus years up in this game, so everywhere else was nice, fun, fine, good. Everywhere else was good.
What about Chicago? I'm from Chicago. How did Chicago treat you?
Chicago treated us well. Chicago treated us well, and as a matter of fact, when Michael Jordan had opened his restaurant out there and stuff. You know, look, and it was cold in the mug, snowing. We went out there, and if we weren't young. I mean, we were still in our prime, but we weren't as young as the first tour. But we did some Chicago dates, and Chicago was good. You just trying to get that? Yeah, Chicago had fine men. Let me tell you about it.
We have come back, come Chicago, Chi-Town. Yep, we still.
Yeah.
That is so funny, because I know men used to follow you, because my brother used to DJ, and I'll never forget, I used to beg him to try to take me places with him, and I was pissed off because you guys were at the Celebrity Theater in Anaheim.
Yes.
He used to go.
Take me.
You missed a good show. You missed a good show. That show was, well, it depends on. We did 2 shows in Celebrity. One was with Run's House Tour, and then the other one, we had this other girl group with us called Sugar and Spice that used to be our rivals. We tore into them so much, so I don't know which show you're talking about, but if you missed the girl one, you missed a good show.
It was the one with Sugar and Spice, and I will get to that. So you guys were the first women that I've ever heard of that came out with diss tracks. The founding mamas and dissing folks.
We call ourselves trying to get our feet wet, because at the time dissing was in. Dissing was like if you wasn't dissing, you wasn't nobody. And not only that, it's like, okay, dissing is gonna get you known. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But in this case, that wasn't the case.
Right.
We had left LA Dream Team Records and went over to Ruthless, which was very cordial. Everything was fine. But once Rudy Pardee signed the new girls on, which was Sugar and Spice, they had a problem with us. However, we didn't know them at all. Like, we never met them at all. Like, it was like no communication or nothing. But then I think that was their way of trying to get their feet wet, dissing us.
Yeah.
So they dissed us, and then we came back.
It was dumb. Silly.
And it's so funny y'all said that, because today, I could go get my man right now and bring him down here to the camera. I just got done listening to that song because I said I felt like hearing it. I just got done listening to that song.
Well, ours are
Now
there.
really.
Ours, really. I was gonna say, our song
Not
is there.
really.
Now,
No, not really. I just got done listening to it like an hour ago.
And don't you get like goosebumps every time you hear it? Because that song was the bomb.
it was.
It was the bomb, for real. And I was just like, oh, quoting words like, ugh, yeah. I was like, ugh.
Some of
Okay, Cherie, we're sorry. We just was reminiscing. We're sorry.
I love it.
But speaking of dissing, cause like the West Coast, y'all diss like y'all be real funny and shit with y'all punchlines and everything. What y'all think about when Cube went at NWA, and then eventually Easy went at Dre, and then Dre went at Easy? Like, how'd y'all feel about all that?
Oh,
I know. I didn't like none of that.
yeah, because that's like your brothers. You know what I
Right.
mean? They were our brothers, and when your brothers fight, you know, you might be laughing like, "Oh, you hear that?" You know, but it's you love them all, and you don't want.
And you don't want to take no sides. You don't want to take no sides because you did love them all. And everybody in every family go through something. Everybody go through trials and tribulations. So we had never, as a group, as an individual, ever like just, oh, I'm on his side, I'm on her side, I'm on their side. You know, never. We just stayed neutral and prayed that they got through this, because that was just like really embarrassing.
Hey, but we gotta admit
Couple
though.
lyrics.
We gotta admit though, Dre Day is the best diss track ever. Come on, let's admit. Dre Day is the best.
Oh my God! Come on now.
I was 12 years old when that came out, and that intro, that was the best diss track I ever heard in my life.
Don't make us.
Every one of us kind of put our head down like, we can't play with you.
Look, I said,
Come on.
I can't play with you, boy.
But look, and Cube is cold with it though. I can't.
Yeah, Cube was cold too though. Yeah, you're right.
Man, Cube.
Yeah.
no Vaseline, nigga. Come on, no Vaseline.
But Dre Day was just so funny, that video.
Oh, that's
The video did it.
Clowns,
That's what.
Take your drink. I'm gonna sip with you, and then we're gonna change the subject. I feel like I can still get in trouble. I don't want to.
Yeah, that's why I said just leave that alone. That's a touchy subject right there.
Yes, it is.
When I was a little girl, my mother took me to Universal Studios, and there was a group performing. And the group just happened to sing some hits that have stuck with me for my whole life. Problem is, I didn't really understand all the words until I got grown. And now that I'm grown, I got them here because I need to ask them some questions. Ready for the World is in the house, y'all. My stories was I was really young, too young, probably listening to y'all. I was at some boy's house in his room. I shouldn't have been in his room. And he turned on Tonight, right? Oh. And I didn't think about it at first because that was my song. Until all of a sudden I heard, oh, ooh, and I was like, I gotta go. And I did not get none ever off Ready for the World because I was too young and I was scared.
And that song was written by about a girl named Bathsheba. I'm not gonna say her last name.
Who wrote that song?
Melvin wrote the lyrics, and me and him did the music. That was his first piece. In the Winnebago.
Everybody remember that first one.
But it's true.
Everybody remember that first one.
That is hilarious. So, speaking of that, I wanted to have this whole conversation. A huge Ready for the World fan. You guys.
Oh, thank you.
No, thank you. Universal Studios. You guys had a concert, and my mama took me to the concert. And after the concert, my mama said, "How you know all the words of them songs?" I was like, "You got me the tape." I did not know what y'all was talking about, but my mom was done with digital display. Okay, it took my mama out. And I was like, what's the problem? And not until today in the shower, I was singing the words. I was like, I never had a girl before. Yeah, I thought I was doing it. And then I started listening to what I was singing, and I was like, I started something about playing with my digital display, and I was like, oh. So how old were you guys when you started?
16, 17, 18.
Yeah, 16, 17, 18. Greg broke digital display.
What was you thinking, Greg?
Say that again. I dropped my glass. I said that again.
I said, what was you thinking when you wrote digital display?
It was a true story. It was a true story. I had just broke up with a girl, and she had moved to Chicago. And I got to thinking about, damn, you know, she was a skinny girl. She was a skinny girl. And I was like, damn, I ain't never had a girl with a dang on figure. From here on out, I'm getting me some hips. And that's what I did. But that's where that came from, because I was hurt. She was gone. I was like, shit, she's skinny. I know I can do something better than that. I can get some hips and some other stuff going on. And that's where that came from, honestly.
Y'all was kids, so you knew what you were singing. I just had no idea what y'all was singing.
Oh, I knew what I was saying. You know, our attorneys back at the time, they told us that we needed an electronic song. Write an electronic song, something about a computer, because Roger had that song called Computer Love.
Yeah.
And it was doing real good on the chart, so she wanted us to do something like that, but a computer love song, something kind of freaky like we did, and that's what I came up with.
Yeah, I think, Greg, you had that song before we met the Lloyds. Remember you was transferring.
I was transferring back and forth. I had it, but it hadn't been done.
Yeah,
I'm saying I didn't even have lyrics.
The idea was already done.
Yeah, I didn't have real lyrics for it. You know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
That's what happened. My fault.
And I was going to say tonight, I think Melvin and I wrote that in the 8th or 9th grade.
What?
Yeah.
She said what?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
That's what I'm talking about.
No, I'm not. I wish I was, but like I said, it was off his first piece, and Mr. Raleigh had a Winnebago sitting in the backyard that he bought.
Camper. An old camper.
A camper with a Chrysler engine in it, and it was never used. They probably used it a couple of times, and weeds was growing out of it by the time we got our record deal. Weeds was growing out the top of it. And dandelions and sticker bushes was growing out the top of it because it was just sitting back there. And Melvin used to use that as his
bedroom.
Yeah, we don't want to know. We don't want to know.
Well, he's not here to defend himself, so hey.
I'm just telling the story how the song was wrote.
Hey, you know what? Y'all been sampled so much by so many like artists in the 90s, 2000s, hell, probably in the 80s too. But do you all have a favorite artist or a favorite song that sampled y'all? I got a story to follow up with that too.
Is that a question?
Yeah, I got a question. Is that a question? That's a question. Like, do y'all have a favorite song or favorite artist that sampled y'all music?
If I had to choose, I'd say Trey Songz's version of Tonight.
Yeah, Kanye.
That was pretty dope the way they flipped that.
Trey Songz and Twister did that, and then the song that what's the comedian's name the song that sang later? What's his name? Jamie Foxx did. He was singing all the groups and Us, Ready for the World, and
with Kanye West, Slow Jams.
Yeah, he mentioned Us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's right.
But I think the biggest one was the Trey Songz and Twister song.
Yeah. Hey, when I was in 1998 or not, I think it was 1998 going into 99, I went to this club. It was this club in Chicago. I'm from Chicago. It was this club like in the.
Me too.
Who
I
from
was born in
Chicago?
Chicago.
Hey, where you from? West side or south side?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I think the north side.
North side.
I was
okay.
like 7 when I moved here.
Oh, okay. Now I went to this club, and this girl, I was drunk as I was only 18, but I was drunk. I was lit, and this girl, she had a version of y'all song. Her name was Onesia or something like that. Y'all probably remember, but she made the song anyway. But she made the song, and I was so lit. I kept calling her Missy. And she was not Missy, but she brought me on stage with her, and she kept singing. She actually sang the song, y'all song, to me on the stage.
You talking about "Love You Down"?
Love You Down.
NOJ.
NOJ. That's her. Yeah. I met her in Chicago. I was lit, man. It was man. Yeah, but that's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite remixes of y'all's because of that situation.
Okay. I'll tell you what. What's the name of that group? Jagged Edge.
Hey.
They got a new one with "Love You Down" in it, and it is hot to death.
And it's "Deep Inside Your Love."
Deep Inside Your Love. Oh, that song is so hot, man.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, they did.
So and I'll say this. Throughout the years when we were creating this music, we had no idea that it was going to be so impactful, that it was going to last as long as it has, and the remakes and all that. So we definitely appreciate it. We've seen it on our publishing for the most part. So that's a good thing.
Dope.
Okay, I don't know if anybody ever asked y'all this, but I want to know because I'm nosy. Who is Sheila?
It was, as Greg said, it was nobody. It was just, Melvin came up with the initial idea, and then we built the music around the idea. So it was many titles to the song before we got to Sheila. So
I'm ready to change my name. Are you on me? Are you guys all friends?
Sort of.
How was the group put together? I should ask.
I would say Greg and I met in summer school. And I basically was the general manager, probably, because I was the gypsy of all neighborhoods. I met Greg first because we had mopeds. When mopeds were the thing, he had a Yamahopper and I had a Townie. And then we met again in summer school. And this class was like and somebody told me about Gerald and this guy named Jimmy. What was his name, Gerald? Jimmy Jackson. And he was playing with us for a minute.
Yeah.
He was a bass player. And I found Gerald and him through somebody telling us about him. And Jimmy got a girl pregnant and they ended up quitting. And then John Eaton told me and Melvin that him and the Triplets had a bunch of equipment. And when me and Melvin went over there, they had speakers that was hanging out the cones and all that, all that kind of stuff. And that's how we basically, the final group of Ready for the World came about. But the main writers at first was me, Greg, and Melvin. And then we had to train those guys what to play and what to sing and whatever. And then they were bringing their ideas for background vocals and stuff like that. And that's how it basically happened. We had members was in and out, quitting, or, if they found somebody with a better group, because we really didn't have equipment besides me, because I had a job.
Melvin didn't even have a guitar.
Yeah,
no, he didn't have an amp.
He had a guitar.
He didn't have an
He
amp.
had one string on it.
He had to wait till he graduated to get his guitar amp.
Yeah.
He didn't have no amp.
I had some pawn shop drums.
Yeah.
I had a pawn shop keyboard.
So how did it happen? Y'all ain't have no equipment. Y'all ain't had no money, no jobs.
I had a job.
Yeah, I had a job.
I had a job and Greg had a job, but my mom would make me put stuff in the layaway. And then when I got to about $100, she would put her money in.
Oh.
So I basically paid for all my guitars and amps. And Melvin and I paid for the studio time. Then Greg came in third, and the rest of the guys really didn't have money. And that's how this stuff happened.
I put $10 in. My $10.
Beautiful. And just like that, we had Ready for the World.
Yes, sir.
Now, I have to ask, I'm doing this documentary on hair. I hit y'all up. Schedules didn't match. Did all y'all just go out and get the Jerry curl? Or, how did that come about? Y'all styling? Did y'all decide y'all was going to keep your hair the same? Because, look, during the documentary, when we start talking about hair, we asked people, who do you think had the best curl? They Ready for the World. We was all trying to look like Ready for the World.
Well, let me say this. When we first started, I had waves in my hair at first. So, we would, put the grease and just wave it out, the hair cap every night. And I guess as time progressed, Prince and all that, that little thing came on the scene, and curls kind of just came in. At that time, my mother was a beautician. So she basically, gave us the Jerry curls and kept them up.
I came in with I'm the beautician, so I already had a Jerry curl when I came in there. And look at me now. See what it did?
Same here, brother.
Yeah.
I used the Hawaiian silk. Y'all remember the Hawaiian silk? Yeah, because I told a girl I end up marrying this girl though, but I told her I was mixed with Hawaiian, and that's why my hair looked like.
The S curl too.
Yeah, I had S curl.
I had an S curl.
Stop it! You had an S curl.
My mama put an S curl in my hair. All you gotta do is put water in my hair. But I had a rippy S curl.
Wow, I got to see pictures.
It didn't last for long. It tore my hair out.
Yep.
After my S curl, I had a high low, and it was not on purpose.
All right, so tell me who got the most action on the road. Gordon did.
I had the quality.
I'm just playing, man.
No way.
No, I had the quality. No, I'm saying I had the quality. I didn't have the quantity.
Quantity would go to Melvin and Gerald.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Then John.
Yeah.
Look at Gerald down there. He ain't even saying
Can't see nobody.
You can't see him?
I can't see no one, but I had my fair goods of women, but it was all good. It was all fun.
Yeah, what was groupies like in the 80s,
I
man?
only see myself. Dang.
We see.
Oh, loyal.
Loyal, that's good. They had no social media to ruin it for you. No, that's
yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
But wait a minute.
Exactly.
Y'all was just out on the road.
I can't see nobody.
So when you're talking about out on the road, what's the difference between the groupies in the 90s and the groupies now? They the same ones? They just
it was at that time it was the groupies and then the beginning of the sack chasers. The sack chasers, the first time we ran in the sack chasers was in Los Angeles when New Edition had us come to, what was that restaurant? Fridays?
No.
Friday.
Oh, Charlie's or something like that?
No, that's not. No, it was Fridays.
It was Magic Johnson Fridays, probably.
Yeah, it was on Venice Beach or one of them beaches. What was my man that played in? We went in his house and the blinds was blowing. They used to be on with Debbie Allen.
I remember that.
My man, y'all know what I'm talking about. The dude that danced with Debbie Allen. What was the show? It was a hit show.
Oh, Fame? Oh, Fame.
You talking about Fame?
I remember.
Yeah, Fame. Yeah, Fame. And that wherever that place was, that's the first place we ran They didn't want to talk to no musicians or basketball players. They wanted all the hustlers. And what's my man? He used to Soul Train Lou. They asked us to go there. And then another place we ran into him was in DC. They didn't want to talk to they didn't care how famous you were.
Your face
they wanted the street hustlers.
So there's levels to this. Groupies and sack chasers, huh?
Yeah.
Well, let me ask y'all this. When y'all came to Chicago to perform, y'all bump into any women out there? I want to know if y'all might have bumped into my aunties and something.
No.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl Spinderella, and I'm so excited because I'm going to be on Cherie's World. Tune in.
I hate to be like all familiar and casual, but I feel like I grew up with you. I think I know you in my head. And so I really appreciate being here.
I feel the same way about you.
Wow, are you serious?
I am very serious. I think, now what year were you, I would say, in the business? When did you start?
Oh, I believe it was 1984.
Okay, yeah, you were definitely someone that I watched. Of course, Punky Brewster was my show. So
are you serious?
I'm gonna fangirl. But
are you kidding me? I'm freaking out right now.
Heck yeah. Yeah, babe. Like I used to watch you. And so it's funny how we both came up simultaneously, doing what we do in our respective fields or whatever. But yeah.
Amazing. So just so you know, like I'm such a fangirl. I used to dress like you. I wanted my hair cut like yours.
No. I gotta apologize for that. Yeah. We had a lot of women that was just following that trend with the hair on the side, and they would do everything and anything. They would cut their own hair, they would color their own hair, and they lost a lot of hair. Shoot, I lost a lot of hair messing with us. So yeah.
I love you. Courtney and I were on right before you got on, and I said, how many female DJs do you know? Like you was the founding mama. You it.
Well, I don't think I was the founding mama. I was one of very few. It was rare to be a female DJ, but before me, there was Wanda D with the Us Girls. There was the Mercedes Ladies. They were a DJ crew out of the Bronx. But I didn't really get to see them. I would say, coming through with Salt and Pepper, most people got to see the female DJ through me. In those early, yeah.
How does that make you feel? Because you've laid a wonderful foundation. I mean, all of a sudden, the last 10 years, the list is like hundreds.
Yeah, I mean, more than that. Like, I would say it feels great. Like, it feels great. I love what I do. So, first of all, music therapy is a thing. I was doing it because I learned from my dad just the variety of music. That's where I picked up my knowledge of music, and learning the craft of it. My high school boyfriend, he saw that I had that knack for music, but he showed me the technique. And to see, like, those early days, it wasn't something I was trying to do. It was just something that I knew how to do. And once I got with Salt and Pepper and auditioned for them, and we went mainstream as a group, as a unit, they got to see a woman doing it. Because before me, it was rare, but you really only saw the guys doing it. And my blueprint was Jam Master Jay, Grandmaster Flash, Grandmaster D from Houdini. I only saw the guys doing it. So yeah, it was rare. And I love to see the women globally using this as a tool to, uplift music therapy.
Hey, as a man, can I just say the song Tramp, I kind of felt was kind of offensive to men. I mean, just imagine an all guy group disrespecting women and calling women out their name. The world would never never let that happen. That's my favorite song.
NWA?
I never heard of them.
Hello. Well, I'm sorry you felt that way. Some guys love that. They love that, turning the tables a little bit. But that song was a brainchild of Herbie, and the purpose was to turn the tables a little bit.
I'm
instead
joking.
of,
That's my favorite song, actually.
Yeah, the women normally are the ones to be objectified, and we turned it around, and the guys seem to love that. So,
hey, that's what I was going to ask you. I'm a guy that likes to be behind the scenes, and I love hearing about people behind the scenes that make a lot of things happen. Tell me more about Herbie Lovebug, because I didn't really get a chance to, know too much about him other than when I watched the documentary.
So Herbie is the creator. Herbie is the reason why I'm here. He had this brainchild, this, idea of creating a female version of Run DMC. And he, him and Salt were in a relationship, and it was like, let's do this, let's try to make this happen. So they wound up finding Peppa, and then eventually they found me. So yeah, it was kind of like Herbie he was a genius.
Yeah.
He was like literally a genius. He's behind Salt and Peppa. He's behind the man behind Kwame, Kid and Play. He had a roster of acts and ideas for his groups. So yeah.
I want to ask you a question, because you grew up kind of like the generation above me. But what a lot of people don't talk about, and I love having women on the show because we don't have a lot of women, male groupies are real. Okay, so going into these clubs, you were on tour.
Yeah.
Let's be real, okay? Let's break it down, because male groupies are worse than female groupies any day. Will you share one of your most wild male groupie stories with us? Look at your face!
Yeah, there was quite a few. We hit a lot of the military bases in the early part of our career. And I mean, they were like, it's crazy. They hadn't been home in forever and serving our country. Thank you, servicemen and women. But yeah, we had a few. I actually, those early days I had a curfew, so I wasn't able to be hanging out like that. But once I was, they were everywhere. They were.
Look at her beautiful smile. So I have stories, and I'm open and honest about them. I've walked into my hotel with naked men in my bed.
What?
You've never had those?
No.
Well, how did I get them and you didn't get them? I got them in my hotel room.
Oh no! See, no. So tell me. How did they get past your security or your managers?
Well, okay. So my security was actually out with me. And when we came back to the hotel, he was about to go to his room. And I was like, nah, we had sandwiches. I'm like, nah, come eat your sandwich with me. You know what I'm saying? He's like, you sure? I'm like, yeah, come on. So I opened the hotel room. I put my key in, opened the door, and I thought I had the wrong room.
Wow.
He went by me, flew by me. He was like, yo, let me tell you something. I love you. Because it was just bowls and everything.
Oh,
dude
hey,
was
spin.
He was naked?
Me and Cherie been together since. No,
was that you?
He's like, your wife to beat me up. But I have those crazy stories. He told the people at the front desk that he was my husband, and his last name was Johnson, and they made his ass a key.
So that's the thing. We were protected. We were guarded. We literally had people, our managers, road managers, everybody walk us to our rooms and stuff. But I guess in the beginning, I was I'm so glad I didn't get to experience that. Sometimes the fans are fanatical. We've had people chase us down, when you're on a tour, but especially when we go to other countries.
Oh yeah.
I think we were bigger in Europe, but you're talking about not being able to go out or just going from the stage to the bus or whatever. people following us from city to city, but we were quite protected in that sense. So I'm glad I don't have stories like that, because I'd be like, if I see somebody naked running out of my room, I'd be like, oh hell no. Yeah.
Okay, so what about dating? Because I just put it out there. More than half of the men that I dated were groupies. They only liked me because I was the little girl from TV, which I think is a little weird. But they hide it.
Interesting.
You don't think you haven't went through
Okay, so no, it's not unusual, but for us as women, we didn't have like our, the normal situation where we would just, be, walking or regular going out and then seeing a guy we liked or whatever. Because I, from the age of 16, was on the road. So I was pretty protected. And if I was to date somebody, it was either somebody in the industry. It was somebody, like a DJ, somebody that's like me, we had the same interests. And then, of course, as I got older and I was able to get out more, all my guys, I had my best friend, Kalima, who passed a few years ago, I'd be like, girl, I like him right there. And honey, she would go and get him for me. Like, so yeah, I always had, like, anytime I was very shy. So me going up to somebody was kind of like, out of the question. So my friend Kalima, for a lot of years, would be the one to go get my guys for me.
See, she's smart, and she dated men in the industry. Me, I was dating niggas that worked at McDonald's. You know what I'm saying?
You're the regular guy. Look, they love you, honey. Like, but like the guy that I fell in love with, I would say 7 years ago, that I'm marrying this year. He's a comedian, and I would say he was a regular kind of guy. He was an aspiring artist, and we just hit it off. Like, I saw him at a show. I was DJing, and he was a comedian for the show. And it was just like, he was making me laugh. And one day he asked me if I would DJ one of his events, because he's also a promoter. But, I find it a problem to date industry guys now. Like, back then it was okay, but I don't have the patience. And I'm thankful that I have somebody that I love. I don't have to deal with that anymore. At least, these past 7 years have been wonderful. So I'm glad I'm not in that pool anymore.
I just have to ask, like, the patience. Do you mean for the egos or the schedule?
Yes, egos.
Because I want people who are watching to understand what you mean.
Yes, more like egos. And it's not everybody, but I'm sure that doesn't pertain to everybody. But for the most part, they got money, they got women, they got. I ain't got time for all of that. I'd rather be alone. I don't like the games.
Yes. Well, congratulations, getting married. Love is always beautiful.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Courtney is married. Courtney's been married for a very long time.
Very long time.
Okay, Courtney, you're off the market.
Yeah. That's basically.
Well, I am too. So that's, that we can get past that.
What
about you, Cherie? What about you?
Huh?
What about you?
I'm gonna play just dumb. I'm just gonna keep going. Huh? No, I'm off.
You're off the market. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You're beautiful, so I could see that. But it's crazy when you talk about women in the industry, like us.
Yes.
People are really shocked when they find out that we, are single. I've been single for some time here or there, and people are shocked. And celebrity women not having, a significant other, they're shocked. And that was a question that I thought about as well. Like, why is that? Why are women that are powerful, making money, making moves, very well known, beautiful, why are they single? That's a good question for the men.
I think because we don't got no patience for the BS. I think
that's definitely true.
Yes.
And that's definitely true.
There's a level of things that we don't have to put up with.
Yeah, standard wise.
Mm-hmm.
But I also found that, I mean, come on, you have women like, you know, I'm trying to think when I was thinking about this, who was single, but a lot of celebrity women, you have to, not everyone is in a relationship. And it just makes me wonder, are they picky? Or is it guys are just intimidated to step to them?
Probably both. If it was a woman like me, if you would have talked to me about 7 or 8 years ago, I had a stint where I wasn't picky, right? And I was just talking to and they was all groupies. And then I realized, you know what? I'm dating groupies anyway. I might as well date who I like. My type. Right. And my standards did raise.
Right.
And I did get very picky. But I think that probably saved me from a lot of drugs because I was so picky. So, but people are like, you know, you're just supposed to be in the most wonderful relationship because you got life going. But anyway,
yeah.
What up, Cherie? Heard across the world. Welcome to Cherie's world. Heard across the world. Welcome to Cherie's world. Representing for every girl. Welcome to Cherie's world. Representing for every girl. Welcome to Cherie's world.